Hi, in this video we'll talk about primitive data type and arithmetic operation in Python. So what are the primitive data types which Python offers us? Well, we have integers, which are whole numbers, including negative numbers as well. So let's see it in action. To do this, hit Ctrl, Alt and T on the keyboard. It will open the terminal. Now type Python in it. It will open the Python interpreter, which is basically used for testing purposes. And later on, we will use Sublime Text to develop actual programs. Now let's enter some positive integers. And we can see that it gives same number back to us. That means it recognizes it. In the same way, we can enter 0 and negative numbers as well. If you try some random alphabets, then you can see that it says not defined. That means it's not a valid data type. To check their type, type, quite intuitive, huh? Which is a function, and a function include parentheses with them. And we can pass down the number between these two parentheses. Don't worry too much about them right now. We'll talk about them in detail in the future videos. Press enter. You can see that it says class int. That means they are integers. Next we have float. Float are real numbers which contain decimal point with them. And I think they are more precise number. If we say 0 and 1, what is the number between them? One of them is 0.32, right? Now in the interpreter, pass down the decimal value. And we can see that it accepts it. And the same way as earlier, we can check their type. It says float. That means they are floating point numbers. Next, booleans. Boolean can only have two values, which are true and false. So if we come back here and type true, we can see that it says the same thing. And same goes with false. We can check their type. And it says bool, that means boolean. And in the same way we can do for true as well. There are a few more things which we can do, like we can compare two numbers and we can compare to a string as well. But we haven't talked about string, right? So let's talk about them next. So strings are sequences of characters. We use double quotation mark or single quotation mark to define it. So I come back here and say apple, which is enclosed in double quotation mark. We see that it accepts it. And if I use single quotation mark, then again it accepted. We can check their type. And it says that it's str, which means that it's a string. So there is one more thing to keep in mind. So if you have some contraction like in that, so it is better to use double quotation mark to define it. Otherwise you will get an error. So that's it for this video. I think it is getting long. So I will talk about arithmetic operation in the next video.